Alright, hey everyone, my name is Sammy, and welcome to my Stream Theory playthrough of Dark Souls, where I will analyze and comment on the game as I play it for you live. And so this is the big one. This is the very last episode in my series of playing through Dark Souls. So I'm really excited here. It's time for the final battle. We got the last Lord Soul in the previous episode. The last of the 4 that you have to collect in the second half of the game. So yeah, it's finally time to make my runs at the final boss here. I'm gonna cash in those Lord Souls. Before I do that, though, I'm gonna do some little odds and ends to kind of wrap up a few things. I collected a Firekeeper Soul. I remember I did that, so I might as well cash that in before the final battle. Maybe level up, try to give myself as much a chance to beat this guy as I can. So yeah, reinforce. And okay, that was the only one I had. So there are actually a few remarks that I've kind of been saving. Things I've thought up while playing the game. I was like, well, this will make more sense if I save it for like a concluding episode. So we'll get into that soon as I finish up these little odds and ends. I also forgot to check up on this quest here. Remember, I when I went down to the catacombs, I saved the lady that was here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, he has nothing new to say.
Sometimes I lose myself. Pay me no
I thought
mind.
he might have something new to say, but in the case that lady should be in the church in one form or another. Oh, it's not. That is not the right thing. Okay, so let's go check in there to see if she's there. I believe that is where she shows up. So I'm not going to do everything 100% in the game. Like, for instance, I'm not going to finish up the quests with, like, Big Hat Logan or the Katarina Knights, the father and daughter thing. I think that would just take too much time to do. That's something I would rather do on my own playthrough. Alright, so yeah, I came here a little too late. I think I'm supposed to come here directly after I do the catacombs and the Gravelord battle. So what happens is the lady that you save actually ends up here, and she prays, and you can actually, like, she's another character quest line that you can go through. However, if you come too late, you'll see that she has already died and has been killed. So you get her remains, essentially, some humanity pendant, and yeah, it's a shame. Yeah, it's another thing that I missed, but it's okay. In a game that's as full of stuff to do, it's okay to miss a few things. I mean, I definitely missed, on my first playthrough of the game, I definitely missed a lot of things. I missed the entirety of Ash Lake. I missed a few big things to do in the game completely. I just never saw those things. And that's okay. Like, returning to the asylum. Remember, I went back to the asylum at the beginning of the game, and also not just that, but the related quest where I go into the painting because you get the item that you need to get inside the painting at the asylum. I missed all of that in my first playthrough, just because I didn't realize that you could jump off on the elevator that I just left here, and then from there you can get to a higher up area where this bird is, and that bird will take you back to the asylum. So there are a lot of things in my first playthrough that I actually missed, but I'm kind of glad that I missed it, because it shows how flexible the game can be. You can still have a good experience even if you miss a few things. Okay, so I believe there's a character over there. Something over here I saw. I'm not going to talk to him yet. And I'm finishing a few things. Yeah, this guy. Like, this guy, I also saw him in the catacombs. I didn't even pursue his quest, so these are things that I would you know, pursue or not pursue depending on what I feel like doing. But because I'm streaming, I don't think I want to pursue everything. Just take too much time, and I've already spent, you know, so much time. I just want to show most, you know, everything that you can do, or I want to pursue all the things that lead to seeing all of the world, at least. So stuff like Ash Lake, I definitely want to do because I want to explore that that part of the world. But as far as individual character quest lines, I'm a little less interested in making sure I complete everything regarding those.
Oh, Willie,
Might as well
hey.
talk to him while we're here.
How many of you are there? You've come at the perfect time. I'm done with the looting. I'm a humble merchant now, and wondrous treasures have I, at a special price for you. There you are. Have a nice look at them. Oh, relax. No more funny business out of me, my friend.
Lost learned gesture, prostration.
Here, have you met that backwoods Shiva? Believe me on this one, my love. The man is trouble. I can see it in his eyes. I just can. No doubt about it. Watch him. Yeah. Have you met that sunbathing Solaire? Believe me on this one, my love. He's a complete idiot.
That's
But
an
he happens
interesting
to be an awfully
perspective on
strong
Solaire.
idiot. So just nod your head and keep him on your side.
Yeah, this is one of the more enjoyable characters, even though his moralities are in question. Yeah, he sells some fairly good stuff. But yeah, let's get on with the end of the game here.
Have you met Petrus? That self-proclaimed
Well, he talks about
cleric?
all of the characters.
Believe
I don't
me
think I
on this one, my
ever
love.
talked to
The man
him
is
this
stuck.
far.
Don't you be fooled by his claims to do good. They're all the same, those rotten clerics. Boy, have you met Lautrec the Embraced? Believe me on this one, my love. He's completely mad. He wouldn't think twice about cutting somebody down. So watch out for him. Especially if you've humanity to spare. I'm done with the looting. And wondrous treasure...
Alright, that's seems like everything.
What? Nothing a bit... Well, you
So, other things have happened. Like, I could go find where the Katarina Knights are. I could also find where Big Hat Logan moved after I freed him in Seath's prison area. After I freed him there, he moves on to the archive room. You can talk to him a little bit more there. But I think, okay, I have 60,000 souls, so I should probably cash those in. Not even sure where I want to put the souls at this point. Okay, I can only go up one time. Let's see. Alright, so let's get on with the show. Let's cash in these Lord Souls.
I am pleased to see you well.
Go down here
Is it
to
something
the Lord Vessel. Put the Lord Souls in there.
Very well. Then stay still for a moment.
Okay, so this is it. Once I put all the Lord Souls in, the path to the final boss will open up, and we can get to the end of the game here. Okay, let's see if, I keep doing that, I don't know why. See if he has something new to say. Yeah, he does.
Oh, the Lord Vessel is satiated, magnificent. You are the righteous successor to Gwyn, the new great lord, and I am King Seeker no more. Your acquaintance was an honor. I must admit, I am fond of you humans. May you enjoy serendipity, and may the age of fire perpetuate.
Alright, so I think now's the time I can discuss some of the things I've noticed about the game during this playthrough. Right, this area looks pretty darn cool. So I've noticed that a lot of the aspects about the game design, the freedom of exploration of the world, how you can customize your character, pursue different storylines as you see fit, or not pursue them, as I just discussed that I'm deliberately not going to go after some of the optional character storylines. I think those are better, at least for myself, better left, in a non-stream playthrough, pursuing those, just because it'll take so much time. In any case, all that stuff, the freedom of approaching the game, is fairly consistently represented throughout the game. Like it is also represented in the themes in the story and the lore that are presented to you if you so choose to learn about that stuff in this game through the items and pay attention to what you have to do as far as pursuing the story. From Software is very good at reinforcing those same themes in both the gameplay and the story aspects. So what I'm talking about is see that freedom represented in how you have a freedom to pursue one of the philosophies presented to you in the world, and that is philosophies of the light versus the dark, and these aspects of light and dark are very well reinforced in many different characters in the game. They kind of gravitate towards one or the other in how they perceive the world to be as a natural state. Like, do they believe that the world should be light or dark, or somewhere in between? Well, in your character, you can actually choose to pursue one or the other. You can choose the path of light or the path of dark. And this one I've chosen a lighter path, one that pursues kindling the flame and restoring light to the world. Alternatively, there is also the path of darkness, and that is, not necessarily, I don't mean evil, rather, I mean just what you believe the natural state of the world is that there are some in this game, some characters in the game, and some philosophies of the game that believe that the natural state of the world is darkness, and that we should just embrace that rather than fight it. And that's not an evil pursuit. It is, I think, something arguably good, because it reveals the truth of the world. And it's that freedom to choose between these philosophies, how you want to approach these and then impact the world, in that way, is reflected in, various aspects of the other game too. That freedom to choose your paths through the game, the freedom to create your character. So this light and darkness, it is basically regarding the flame that we're in now. This is the kiln that creates the light. It was originally Gwyn who found the first flame and then lit up the world, essentially, from a sort of gray, middling form of existence, rather. And some argue that it is false to create the world in this way because it is not the natural state. You should leave the world as it is, and as such should embrace a darker path, because that's just how it is. It's like you don't want to embrace a falsehood. You want to embrace the truth. And if the truth happens to be darkness, then pursue that. So that's one argument or the other, and you can actually this is hard to actually find out in, say, a first playthrough, but you can actually get to an alternate ending where you don't light the flame and you just let the world fall into the darkness, because maybe you believe that the world should be in its natural state, in its natural form, and you can make the argument that that's the right thing to do. So that freedom, I like how it is reinforced throughout all aspects of the game. Similarly, From Software is very good at doing this in its other games. I saw this in Dark Souls 2 as well. But of course, it does it a little bit differently. Dark Souls 2 was more about cycles and more about fate, and that is also very well reinforced throughout its gameplay and how you approach the world. And the argument in Dark Souls 2, what it reveals in Dark Souls 2 is that no matter which path you choose, the path of light or the path of darkness, no matter which state you believe the world is naturally, whichever one is better, it doesn't matter which one you choose. The only truth is actually the cycle of light and dark, and that is an inevitability that Dark Souls 2 posits and argues that if you, regardless of whether you kindle the flame or regardless of whether you let the flame die out, something will always happen. Others will always come along and rekindle the flame, and if you rekindle the flame will always eventually go out. That flame will eventually go back to embers. So it is a constant cycle of the flame dying out, the flame being relit, which is why at the end of Dark Souls 2, and spoilers, like if you haven't finished the game, that there is no option like there is in Dark Souls. The option to either light the flame or let the world go into darkness. There is no option. Okay, I'm gonna get into the boss fight here, so put that on hold. I'll try to continue discussing this while I fight him, but it's gonna be kind of difficult to do so. Alright, I normally fight him with a shield, so this is gonna be a little difficult to learn how to dodge him perfectly. Right, see, I'm already kind of facing some difficulty here. Yeah, there we go. Alright, I guess I can continue my discussion here. So, in Dark Souls 2, seeing as it stresses the cycle, that's the theme of cycles is also apparent in the game. In that the way you approach the world and the way the world is designed is not like Dark Souls is here. Instead of having a large world that's interconnected with various pathways that cross over each other, the world in Dark Souls 2 is mostly one hub, Majula, and lots of spokes coming out of that hub. So there are many different paths coming out of that hub, and most of these paths lead to a dead end. So you pursue that path, you explore, fight enemies, you solve some puzzles, and then you fight a final, or not a final boss, you fight a boss, the boss at the end of that path, and then once you fight the boss, you return back to Majula and choose a new path, essentially. And so yeah, that theme of cycles is reinforced in Dark Souls 2 in such a way, not just in the story, but also in the gameplay, the way you approach the world, and the enemies. And I thought that was interesting that From Software is not only good at being consistent with with their themes of the game, also able to change and not just, you know, go one way or another. Those two themes, one of freedom and one of cycles, choice versus inevitability, you know, distinctly reflects those two games, Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 2's differing approaches to game design and world design as well. That was a really interesting point about those two games, and how those games, even though they're based on a similar, you know, leveling system, combat system, and one based around bonfires. Whenever you die, you respawn at a bonfire, and enemies also respawn along with you. Those are the, you know, the similar backbones of a differing style of game, essentially. Okay, so I'm still learning how to properly dodge attacks, you know, timings and stuff. So I'm gonna be dying a lot here. At least I got my retrieval. Retrieval. So I don't want to make this, you know, a direct comparison to Dark Souls 2, rather as an ending, but I just want to, you know, just want to reinforce how From Software's design of the game, and design of the game itself, is thoroughly reinforced in all aspects of the game, or in most aspects of the game. And there are some contradictions, I would say, to the freedom in Dark Souls 2 to explore the world. There are some dead ends, as we saw, relating to the paths to the Lord Souls. The bosses regarding the Lord Souls. The game doesn't want you to approach those enemies too early. So those are the only dead ends you'll see earlier on, you know, that you can't unlock until a specific point in the story dictates you do. All other dead ends, like locked doors for instance, if you do enough exploring, you'll be able to find that key, you'll be able to find the enemy that drops the key, and then open that door eventually. You can earn your way to that. Whereas, yeah, my only gripe about the game's freedom is that it does fall into that sort of, it does fall into locking you out, having to lock you out because it doesn't want you to experience certain parts of the world. I feel like that's one aspect of the game that is not as consistent with its theme of freedom and choice as it could be, and it's one thing I wish would have been a little bit better. It's one way in which I think that the second half of the game, post Ornstein and Smough, doesn't hold up as well to the game before Ornstein and Smough. Alright, I'm starting to get the hang of his timings here. Oh man, kinda has to delay on that third hit, the combo. Alright. I'll get the hang of this. This is actually a lot easier if you do have the shield, because oddly enough, Wynn is one of those enemies that you can actually parry. Counter and then parry. And it's largely because, you know, he is a humanoid-sized enemy, and those are, you know, also wielding a sword, which fits the criteria of enemies that you can counter and parry with a shield or with an offhand item. Like, you need something in your offhand in order to parry the attack and counter. I think the official term is you counter and then you riposte. The attack after the counter is the riposte. With a two-handed style, I can't do the counter and riposte, so this battle is going to have to be done straight on, dodging and attacking. Thinking about enemies like Manus and Artorias, people who pursued the darkness seen in the Abyss. They probably had good intentions, maybe because they believed that the world's natural state is darkness, and that they saw the falsehood in the light. And then, that path led them astray. It broke their mind, turned the man that was before Manus into that monster of Manus, and then unleashed the Abyss. So there are definitely downsides to the darkness, but there are also definite downsides to the light as well. And one thing we didn't pursue in this game is if you choose not to buy into the words of Guinevere, the giant princess of sunlight that we saw earlier, the daughter of Gwyn, we can actually choose to kill her, and then we reveal the true nature of the world. If we kill her, we reveal that she is actually an illusion created by one of the sons of Gwyn, and that when that illusion breaks, it's revealed that the world is already in a state of darkness and twilight, and that the light we saw in Anor Londo is a falsehood. It's actually an illusion of magic created by the son of Gwyn, because the world has already faded into darkness so much because the flame of Lord Gwyn has been dying out for a very long time, like hundreds of years or so. Alright, let me heal up, okay. So, basically I'm gonna take my shots at him as I can, whittle him down. Essentially the way of the battle. Again, this kind of falls into why I think a lot of the last half of the game, it's a bit of a disappointment. Many of the boss battles aren't as creative as some of the earlier battles. Each battle is, as a final battle, it is fairly disappointing in that it's super straightforward. I mean, he is a tough guy, but it is centered around just dodging and then doing your hits, whenever you can, which is like sick boss battle strategy. On top of that, due to the nature of the Lord Vessel, you get your full assortment of flasks too. So it's like, on top of that, you have all the health you need, if you're able to actually use your flasks. That is. I should also be able to backstab them, I think, if I get behind them correctly. Maybe not. You can definitely counter his attacks and then riposte. Yeah, I'm not doing this as efficiently as I could. Again, this is straightforward battle, so I'm not too concerned about, doing this perfectly. Alright, yeah. Dodge that, but you gotta, dodge behind him in time. Or far away enough. Okay, that's one other attempt. I got him down further, so I think within the next couple of tries, I think I can do this. So the whole path of, you know, mostly the people who find that out, who destroy the illusion of Guinevere and then reveal the truth of Dark and Orlando, I would argue is not like an evil path. I mean, if you're going around killing every single character, then you're probably role-playing an evil character, but if you learn of the illusion and then you break that illusion, then you could argue that revealing the truth and revealing the nature of darkness in the world is not an amoral pursuit. It is like you're doing everyone a favor by saying, hey, we should just embrace the darkness. And that's not necessarily what I adhere to. I think the way the light is better personally, but you can make the argument either way. 'Cause again, it's all about choice and interpreting the game as you see fit. A lot of what the game Dark Souls done, which some people do complain about, is that it doesn't hit you over the head with what you have to do and how you're supposed to interpret the world, how you're supposed to pursue the world. I mean, your purpose is essentially finding your purpose. It does give you some direction in the beginning, but that direction is so subtle and so quickly spoken out that that direction in the beginning of, you know, ringing the 2 bells is something that's big enough to actually miss, and then you can be directionless anyway. So these are just mostly guidelines of what to do rather than specific directions, go here, go there. That's another way in which, you know, Dark Souls 2 differs as well, because it gives you much more clear guidelines of what to do earlier on. But I think I prefer the path of trying to find out what your purpose is, and then pursuing that. Like Dark Souls lets you, in the beginning, there are clear things to do in the game, but it lets you figure that out on your own, rather than tell you. And this run is a lot worse. My timing is definitely worse in this one. But I will get it. This battle, due to its straightforward nature, you know, eventually I'm just going to get the timing right and then destroy him. In some ways, I'm glad that I'm able to extend it a little bit, because, you know, once this is done, once I beat Gwyn, that'll be the end. That'll be final battle, and I can no longer play this run of Dark Souls. Like, once you see the credits, you can't return back without going back all the way to the beginning. You can either do a new game or a new game plus, but unlike Dark Souls 2, you can't return back to the world and continue to explore it, anything that you missed. So that's one important thing to note about this final battle, is that when you do it, anything that you missed, and you have to play the game over again in order to try to find that stuff. Alright, I'll just let this guy pass by. know, without the knowledge of Dark Souls 2 and what it has to say about the inevitability of the cycle of light and dark, the fact that you have the power to choose the fate of the world, to choose what you feel is right about it, about its state, of how it's going to be for the next 10,000 years or so, is really profound. That it's really interesting that it gives you that much power. Alright, please dodge. Oh my god. There are so few like opportunities to actually to heal. Like, it seems like he's giving you a an opening, then it's like not enough time. Retrieval! Okay, I got some of my souls back. I was certain that you could do backstabs against him. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I can't seem to pull it off. I think I actually need more, what is it, poise for this battle. This is the one battle in which my poise has not been really serving me well. I probably need a little bit more so I can take more than one hit. Basically, I get one hit and then I am totally screwed. Okay. Going for another one. Yeah, I know you can. By the way, hey Ermgerd Yeah, I know you can parry him, right? So because I'm doing a two-handed one, I just have to learn how to dodge. And I did do it once before without parrying. Yeah, or your point is that you can only parry him, not backstab. Yeah, that's what I figured. When you do parry him, the battle is much easier. You just basically just get the timing right, and then you can almost never land a hit on you. But even with the dodging path, battle is fairly straightforward. By the way, I'm glad to see you back, Ermgerd. Haven't seen you in the chat in quite a while. I think it was a long time ago I saw you in the chat. But yeah, I'm glad you're here, and anyone else who's here for the final battle, last episode of this playthrough. So, yeah, I can't backstab. It's not going to be that easy, but I think I'll eventually get this down and then relink the fire. Pretty much covers everything to say about that battle. Like, I wish we saw how good those battles were in the Ulasil area. All those boss battles were top notch. Like, I wish this battle was much more like, say, the battle against Manus, or the battle against any one of those. Like, what if Gwyn was like this, was a dragon? What if he turned into a dragon? Wouldn't that have been much more climactic and awesome? I think so. If it was like the Black Dragon Calamite battle, that would have been pretty cool as well. Alright, let me get my retrieval. Probably a bad idea, but I'll give it a shot. Retrieval! super important to get these timings right. But even with like good timing and dodging, you can still take a few hits because just because you have those 20 flasks from the Lord Vessel, you can kind of just fudge your way through the battle in some ways. Or in that way, just healing up. That was pretty close. Okay, he's gonna do. Be wary when he does that standstill, because he just like then does a sudden attack out of nowhere. Oh man, sometimes the pillars don't block him. Compared to the Sea's battle or the battle against the Four Lords, I would say this is at least harder, just because of how hard-hitting he is, of how hard-hitting Lord Gwyn is. It's fairly difficult to be over-leveled against him, I would say, to the point where you're just shrugging off everything. Still have to be a little bit concerned about your life total. Man, not getting this right. Alright, sometimes I'm getting it right, I would say. Sometimes I'm okay. Oh wait, why did I unequip my weapon? That was pretty silly. Some of his attacks do definitely come out of nowhere. You have no preparation for them. Some of his moves are more obvious wind-ups, like that one, for instance. But other times he's just like standing still, and then all of a sudden you're damaged. Like right now. So it's difficult to read him, I would say. That one's the easiest move to read, I guess. Say. That one's the most difficult move to read. Well, I got pretty close yet again. Sailor Cellar. Hey, how are you doing? Oh, Gwyn, thou will not drink Estus, bitch. Well, he has been letting me drink Estus all the way down to, what was that, 7 Estus left? So I would say it is possible to drink Estus. What I really want to do is learn how to dodge him properly. And I think, if anything, the last portion of the game, after Ornstein and Smo, you kind of get soft on dodging because of how easy those battles are in general. I mean, some of those battles aren't even really battles, like the puzzle boss against Chaos Witch. Like, dodging is not a concern in that battle. Most of those other battles are fairly easy, to the point where dodging is not a main concern. So it's like my dodge reflex has gotten a bit rusty on account of that. Like the last time, if you don't count the Ulasil areas, the last time I really needed to dodge was Ornstein and Smo. Like, we're just talking about the main game. So I would say the Ulasil part has given me a little bit of practice in that regard, but making sure I dodge correctly. But yeah, a lot of the bosses in the second half of the game don't require too much effort. I wish this boss would have been changed to Giant Dad instead. What do you mean by Giant Dad? I wonder what you're referring to there. Ermgerd Law. Alright. See, I wish all of his attacks were like that, because that one's easy to read, and I can actually get that right. Some of his attacks are like, just bam, you're damaged, like that one. That one's hard to dodge. Retrieval! Oh yeah, I actually broke his poise there. That's one thing you can do at least. Still do that. Oh man. I died. I have to. Next time I have to remember I can break his poise, so I have to really keep at him and make sure I stun him. You enter the dark cave and you hear somewhere far away. Initiate phase 1. Do you not know who Giant Dad is? He is the father of all giants. PvP build. Alright, well, I'm not sure who Giant Dad is in relation to the game. Like, that's probably like a pet name for one of the characters. You say it's a PvP build. And outside of like the actual names of stuff in the game, I don't know much about what the community, communities in jokes and in knowledge are. PvP meme of Dark Souls. I actually don't partake much in the PvP at all in the game. I don't do invasions, I don't do like co-op or anything. So that could explain why I don't know much about it. If that's like a Giant Dad is this PvP related thing. Yeah, I really like just doing Dark Souls, the single player stuff. I do like the thrill of being possibly invaded when you go human. That's like, I think, a necessary portion of the game, a necessary part of it. But it's still something that I want to avoid, right? So, it's like a checks and balances thing for kindling the threat of being invaded. So I think that's an important thing, but at the same time, like, it's meant to be a punishment. So I don't want to pursue that stuff. Ah, there's retrieval. Retrieval! Aw, man. Thought that was a good time to hit him there, but man, sometimes he just has way too much stamina. Giant Dad is the legend. Alright. Yeah, I'll check that link out once I'm done here. Thanks for that. Maybe it'll be entertaining. I see what you're talking about. It's I can see why it's called Giant Dad, I guess, as a PvP build, because you're using giant stuff. Another thing I could do is just change my build a bit to give me some better odds against fighting Gwyn here. But, I don't know, I'm doing pretty well as it is. I just have to... More about learning to dodge him than anything. Mostly what you need is just poise, good poise, and then you can take, say, 2 hits and dodge away, rather than 1 hit and your poise is broken already. Oh no, okay. I knew there's a reason why I go off to the side, let him come, and then after that, because it's kind of difficult to actually dodge past him on that little narrow thing. Say, Ingrid Law says, well, what is it? Are you capital yet? I don't know what that means. Your spelling. Are you saying, are you Kappa yet? I'm not sure what that... I'm not even sure what that means. The correct spelling. So I'm glad this battle is still fairly challenging, but challenge and being an interesting boss fight are 2 different things. I think Gwyn is one of the lesser boss fights in the game because of how straightforward he is. I actually want to heal up right now. This guy keeps hounding me. I guess I'll heal up in there. Guess I have to heal up in there because things took a cheap shot against me. Oh man, come on. What's the... yeah, as you can see, like, in every attempt I've encountered, like, I've been exploiting these, pillars to fight him. It's kind of essential part of a no shield one, I guess. I think I'm getting a little too greedy with my hits there, because he does do that hit from nowhere, right? And I don't necessarily have to actually hit him a second time. If I take my time, then I'll end up doing enough damage over time. And these pillars, I hate it when they fail. Pillar, don't fail me. Alright, now I'm a little bit more comfortable. When my health is fairly high, it's like the best. Okay. I hate, like, feeling I should have dodged. Jamming the B button here and just not moving. And then there are the moments when you do dodge and you still take damage regardless. I don't know, there's just a lot of weird stuff about this battle that makes it just a little too subpar for me. The one good thing I would have to say about it is that on your first playthrough, before you like really dissect the battle and tear it apart, like it does feel really nice. The presentation is really well done with the music and all that. The area looks cool. The design of Gwyn is fairly cool. Aw, man. These attacks that just come out of nowhere. Like that combo, I think I like that one the most. Also his grab. At least there's a very clear wind up there. You can tell what's gonna happen. And if you fall for that, like if you fall for the attack and you actually get hit, you deserve the damage that you get there. But like the other attacks where they just hit you, where he just hits you like randomly, and you only have like a half a second, less than a half a second to respond. Those are the ones where like you feel cheesed out of damage. Alright guys, that was it. Finally I did it. Straightforward battle, still challenging to the point where you have to take a few tries. Alright, now I can read chat guys. Sorry, I was focusing on the battle here. Parry is a cheap way, yeah, definitely. My second playthrough, I used a sword and shield combo, and I just parried the heck out of him. Like, beat him on my first try. Stunlock win with Chaos 2 Handler, yeah. Alright, yeah. Alright, cool guys. Thank you very much for watching and for offering your advice in there. So, I think that is it. I don't think there's anything else I want to do. There's one thing I thought about doing, and that's like going back to make sure I like go human and then see the human version of the cutscene rather than like being undead form. That's like super roleplay type of playthrough. That's, you know, I don't have to do that. It's just a stream. So let's get on with the show and link the fire. And that is the final thing you do in the game. So as I say, I'll reiterate my closing thoughts that I wanted to get in this episode that I already explained earlier on. I really appreciate how Dark Souls has this consistency of theme with freedom and choice, you know, seen throughout aspects of the game. You have the freedom to choose between these two philosophies of light and dark, and how to choose, or choose, you know, choose how to approach the story of the game and how you want to present the world, right? So you can choose to link the fire at the end, or make the world go into darkness, and you can make an argument that either way is correct. I would say that those aspects are reinforced in just the way you approach the world, how you can choose to, you know, explore wherever you want. There are very few dead ends, relatively speaking, in the game. And I already discussed how this differs from Dark Souls 2, and that's kind of why I prefer Dark Souls 1 over Dark Souls 2, just that freedom of how you approach the game, level design, how you approach exploring the world. But yeah, just to reiterate that, my closing thoughts is like why I think Dark Souls is so special with that, with its unique world design, how you can approach it, and how your choice to approach it really impacts how you play the game. And that choice, goes through many different other aspects, like how much you want to explore the world, how much you want to delve deep into the lore. It's all up to you. The game doesn't force you into anything. That's why I like Dark Souls 2 so much. And yeah, with that, I think I need not say more. I already explained much of this before in the episode, and as a longer elaboration, but this is more of a recap. Alright, so with that, I think I will, I don't know, that might be too loud, so with that, I'm not sure if you actually was able to hear me over that stuff.
Yes, indeed.
It does seem very loud to me in my headset, but in any case, it was just a recap. I already said most of that stuff earlier on in this stream. So this, when you after the credits, you go into a new game plus. You start the game over again.
The undead are corralled and led to the north.
But for my purposes here, I am all done with my playthrough of Dark Souls. So I'd like to thank everyone who tuned into this episode, and whoever tuned in throughout my entire series, which has taken like several months at this point, just because I can't stream as often as I'd like. I do this more of as a casual thing, like a hobby, rather than like an everyday serious thing. So naturally, it would take me several months to play through this game. But as much as I, haven't streamed so much, I did make it all the way through. So I can at least say that I made it all the way through. I didn't quit, didn't move on to a different game. And now that I'm all done, I am. Next time I stream, I will be streaming a new game. I haven't really pinned down exactly what I will be streaming, but I've decided that I don't want it to be too similar to Dark Souls. I don't want it to be the same game. I want to move on to. I want to try something a little different style, because especially with a series in which I am analyzing the game on the fly. I already said a lot of stuff about Dark Souls, and if I do something similar like Dark Souls 2 or Bloodborne, then I will be saying a lot of the same stuff yet again, and it will be more of like a comparison piece. So I don't want to delve into a game that is too similar right away. I think I want to go on to something different, something that I want to go on to. And unlike this playthrough, I'll probably pick something that I have never seen before, I've never played before. It'll be like a true first impression type of thing. So with that, we'll decide what I will play, and you will be able to see what I will be playing the next time I stream. So again, thank you very much for watching. My name is Sammy, and you can follow me on Twitter at YamsterSam. You can also watch all the archives of this playthrough of Dark Souls over on my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/YamsterSam. And with that, I will bid adieu to you and say goodbye to Dark Souls for quite a while. I don't know when the next time I'll play this game is, but that'll be it for a while. And yeah, I'll say later. Thanks. Bye.